Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Fisher Football Focus. I am your host, Kyle Lumsden, and we have a fun show for you today. The Cardinals are coming off a bye week as they prepare for the upcoming Courage Bowl game against the College of Brockport this Saturday. This is more than just a football game, as it raises money and awareness for Camp Good Days and special times. I would now like to welcome the head football coach, Paul Vosberg. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
So tell me, how's this bye week going for you guys?
I think the bye week went pretty well for us. We got back to doing some things we hadn't done in a little while because we were getting ready for a game. And a lot of times when you're getting ready for a game, it curtails some of the things you'd like to be able to do. But we got back to trying to get some fundamentals and be better that way, get to become a smarter football team and fundamentally a better football team.
And I guess more specifically, what did you do fundamentally to prepare for Brockport this Saturday?
Well, we just tried to get better at all our positions and all our techniques and that, and we did a lot of our varsity guys against each other instead of against the JVs and that. And I think that helped make us a better football team because our best were going against our best all last week and so on. Because we didn't have to prepare for a game. We were just preparing to get better as a football team.
Right. And this Saturday, your first Empire 8 matchup, and it's on the road. How's your team preparing for such a tough task?
Well, I think they're preparing. I think they're looking forward to this game for a lot of reasons. First of all, it is the Courage Bowl. It's our 10th Courage Bowl, and it is the opener of the Empire 8 Conference. And so I think they're well aware of that. And it brings back a rivalry game to us that we haven't had for several years, Brockport State. So I think they're excited about the game, excited about playing it for Camp Good Days, and excited about getting the Empire 8 started.
What does a game like this mean to you personally? More than just a game, as you said. It's this Courage Bowl, but it raises money for Camp Good Days and special times.
Well, I think it's great that our kids and the other team are doing this for the kids at Camp Good Days, and it's still a game and so on. But we're playing it for those kids, and that makes it a little bit more value and brings a little bit more to light about cancer and so on, because we'll have those kids at camp or at our practice this week, and those kids aren't as fortunate as our players are, and so on. And I think our guys see that because they know that they're battling a life-threatening disease, and our kids have the opportunity to play the great game of football, and these kids probably won't ever have that opportunity.
And I think it's a great cause. I love how the kids are able to come and watch practice, go on the field, wear those jerseys, wear a helmet. It's such a great sight to see, and a lot of college students travel to go to this game as well, and they're able to see that great opportunity for those kids to have to be on the football field with you guys. And we're talking about the game itself, looking at Brockport. What really stands out to you?
Well, they're just a good, solid football team. I think in all three areas of their game, I think they're a very good offensive football team. They can score at any time. They control the football. They run a lot of offensive plays, and they also play very strong defense, and they're a pressure defense. They'll get after you, and then they're sound on their special teams. So this is a very, very good football team that we're playing. They're one of the better teams that I've seen in the last few years. Play against everybody. They're a very good football team. There was a reason they were 8-3 last year, and they're on a 10-game winning streak. There's a reason for that, and that's because they're a good football team.
Yeah, they started the season out 2-0, coming off a great win against Cortland. What did you see in some of that film, looking at that game as you prepare?
Well, again, I thought their offense was very good. They controlled the game. They ran a lot more offensive plays. They had some other opportunities to score. They didn't, but they moved the football consistently, I thought, against a good Cortland team at Cortland. And I thought they played well on defense. When you only give up 14 points against a team that the week before scored 48 in that against a good Buffalo State football team, that's pretty good defense. And we know in the beginning of the year when they played Oberlin, they were a good offensive team. So they're just a good, solid football team. They handled adversity, I thought, very well against Cortland. When they needed to do something, they got it done.
And talking about the offensive side of the ball for you guys, what can you do to move the ball against that defense?
Well, I think we're going to have to make sure that we got our heads up and we're looking, because they're going to come at us from all directions and that. Not panic, because they do blitz a lot. And a lot of times kids get riled when they get a lot of movement by the defense, and they're going to give us a lot of movement. So our kids need to just focus in on what they're doing and concentrate on their assignments, and try not to give Brockport any big plays defensively and so on. So we got our work cut out against them.
And that's important, not giving up big plays, because you're on the road. It's an Empire 8 matchup. You give any momentum, and it's tough to rebound from that. But I want to thank you for being in the studio with me today. It was a fun, pleasure, and good luck with you on Saturday.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Coming up next, we have two captains on each side of the ball, safety Ryan Ballard and quarterback Tyler Fenty. So don't go away.
What gets you moving?
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
You fuel your body,
and your mind.
whether you like to throw around the football,
or ride your bike, pop an ollie on your board,
Dance in your room.
play frisbee in the park,
Kick the soccer ball around. Or just run around with your friends.
Get up, play, and do it your way every day.
moving every day helps give you a healthy body and mind.
And that makes you part of a winning team. Hey, that was my line!
so be a player.
Be a player.
Be a player.
Be a player.
You'll have more energy to do all the things you like to do.
And tackle anything.
Just be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc.
Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
That's www.letsmove.gov.
Ryan and Tyler, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Ryan, let's start with you. Last game, you had 9 total tackles. So personally, what really went well for you that game?
I just think that we were able to cover the receivers really well. You know, we were tight coverage on them, so if they were able to catch the ball, then we were right on them to make tackles. And I think we got after the quarterback quite well. And, you know, just trusting in each other to do their job, and then it kind of opens up, you know, opportunities for one guy or another.
Yeah. And I guess defensively, what are some things that you took away that didn't really go so well for you?
Well, they had 2 runs. The 27 had 2 runs that went for a lot of yardage. Just kind of miscommunication on a play, or somebody wasn't really disciplined in what they were supposed to do. So it allowed them to have a couple long runs, and one went for a touchdown.
And what have you done this past week to get better, or you know, as you prepare for Brockport?
We practiced on fundamentals. Of course, we had a bye week, so we had 2 weeks to kind of prepare. And it was all about fundamentals, tackling, just getting off blocks and such things like that. So I think that's going to really help this coming week.
Yeah. And Tyler, now on the offensive side of the ball, you really had a great day. You know, threw for 294 yards and 4 touchdowns. How were you able to be so successful?
Well, obviously it starts off with the line. We struggled blocking here and there throughout the game, but they picked it up once we got rolling. We started off really hot. We scored the first series off 3 plays, scored. Then we kind of died down a little bit, but once we get a rhythm, it's hard to stop us. We have Nate, we have a lot of weapons outside who can make plays for us, so they helped me out.
Definitely. And you know, for you, what were some things that you took away from that game that you can really work on, that you did work on the bye week to get better?
Receivers got to get off, got to block a little better. We throw bubble a lot. We throw those screen passes, so the wide receivers need to get up to their defenders and block, use their hands a little better. Line, they have to work on their steps a little more. Me personally, I got to work on not holding on the ball too long. I did that a few times throughout the game, caused sacks. So, I mean, little things, but things we can easily get better at and help us be more successful.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And Ryan, offensively for Brockport, have you seen some film? Who are some players or some of the things that really stand out for you from that team?
Well, the 1 week, number 1, the wide receiver, had a career day and a record-breaking day, actually, for them. So we know he's good. Just in general, their wide receiver core is very good. And they have a really slippery running back, number 21. And they run kind of a 2-quarterback set. They'll use both of them in different situations. So we got to kind of prepare, you know, for both of them.
Right. How difficult is it to prepare for something like that when you?
You know, we're believers in sticking with our game plan no matter what. So we might make a little bit of a tweak, but we're still going to know that what the coaches install is going to work.
And Tyler, for you, what have you seen on film defensively from Brockport that you kind of can really take advantage of? Or
They play man a lot, which we probably won't see throughout the year so much. They play strictly man most of the time. So they'll stack the box, and then they'll have their corners and safeties play man on a receiver. So I think that our players, our skill guys are better their skill guys on defense. So I think we'll be able to attack them down the field, and then that'll open up the run game for our good running back. So.
Yep. And Ryan, we'll start with you for this one. Your first Empire 8 test on the road. It's a big Courage Bowl game. How are you going to prepare mentally for such a big game like this?
Well, obviously, it's Courage Bowl. There's going to be lots of fans there, and it's for a great cause. So, we kind of keep that in our minds that it is for the kids. And it means a lot to them just to come, the kids that come and participate in our practice and that are going to be there during the game. And we know it means a lot to them, and it actually means a lot to us too. So, we know that we're playing for a good cause.
And Tyler, for you, what does a game like this, I guess, mean to you? Yeah, it's a football game and it's a huge matchup, but also it's also for the kids as well, for Camp Good Days.
Yeah, obviously it's the first E8 game. It's a lot of excitement for that, but I mean, obviously it's for a much greater cause than just a conference game. It's good for the kids who don't have the opportunity to ever play this great game. They get to be around guys who they can look up to for that week, and just, I mean, it's a dream come true for them, and it's really special for their families too to see the smile on their kids' face throughout the week of their practice, and especially at the game, behind their coaches, captains.
Right. Yeah, couldn't agree more. I want to thank you guys for joining me today on the show, and good luck Saturday.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Last but certainly not least, we have defensive coordinator Mike Fox coming up next to go over how Fisher plans to stop Brockport this weekend. Stay with us.
So my uncle calls and he says he's dizzy and he's losing his balance. I'm like, Unc, you want me to take you to a doctor? He's like, no, I'm going to look up the symptoms. I said, your symptoms are you're dizzy and you're losing your balance. So he said, I can't get on the internet because my arm is numb. I said, well, use your good arm and dial 911. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love is showing symptoms of stroke, don't wait because it might be too late. Dial 911. Time lost is brain lost.
Coach Fox, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Week 1, you guys were able to have an impressive victory. What were some positive takeaways that you took away from that game?
A win is always a win, so that's always, as a defense, we have 3 goals every week. First is to win the game. Second is to keep the opponents under 100-yard rushing. And then third is to have 3 or more turnovers. So we got 1 out of 3 goals from last week, so that's the most important one. So we can take away winning from the game. I thought guys played hard, and especially in some certain spots, they came up really big on defense and made some big plays where Otterbein had some opportunities to really kind of capitalize and score some points. And I thought the guys made some big plays and kind of turned the momentum around a little bit, especially the safety.
Yes, exactly.
The second half, that was really big for our guys and kind of sparked a turnaround for our whole team in general.
Yeah, and some negatives, I guess you would take away from that game that you can improve on.
Yeah, well, stopping the run. That's the most important thing that we as a staff talk about on defense. And we let up 2 big runs, one for a touchdown, and that was actually the first 100-yard rusher that we've let up in almost 2 years. So. Wow. Guys were disappointed. I know that myself, I was disappointed, and the rest of the defensive coaches. But there were 2 plays, and granted, we don't want those plays, but we did a pretty good job otherwise of stopping the run. But that's definitely something that we went back to the drawing board and watched the film and tried to correct. And, hopefully we've corrected that for this week.
Yeah, and watching that film, what did you, I guess, focus on or really work on that you had to do better?
You're taking good angles to tackle the football. That sounds like basic football 101, but if you saw us, I know Coach mentioned this last week, it was, we kind of over-pursued at things, let things outside of us. We always want a good edge to our defense and keep everything inside. I think that's one thing, if you saw Brandon Fuentes catch that guy on that really long run, and that gave us an opportunity to stop him and not let them score that touchdown. Right. So keeping everything inside, because if there's one thing that we're going to do as a defense on Fisher, it's run to the football. So if we can keep everything inside, I hope that our pursuit can keep that from happening again. So that was a big thing for us. Open field tackling, and just like Coach said, it's really a week to just get back to basics and keep going with our fundamentals. It's nice to have a bye week after the first week because you can just kind of continue on with your preseason camp, just work at what we do well. and try and get better at that.
And going into the season, what did you feel like you thought with your defense that you could do well?
Stop the run, that's the one, because we have some experience coming back at our linebackers. We have all 3 guys coming back and a couple other guys who played a significant amount for us. We had 2 out of our 3 safeties that are primarily our run-stopping guys. So I thought that was one of our strengths coming into the season. Yeah. We did lose some defensive linemen that were big for us last year. That's always a part of that. But up front, I thought that was a strength coming in that we would have. Our secondary coming back as a whole is going to help our pass defense a little bit. But, that was a good part of our defense coming back. So hopefully it just kind of goes on from here.
Right. I mean, it's just week 1. You were, like you said, able to win.
Yeah.
So heading into this weekend game against Brockport, what are some players that you want to key on specifically on the offensive side of Brockport?
For Brockport, their running back, he is a flat-out stud. He'll probably be the best running back we face all year, without seeing some extra guys on film that we'll face throughout the year. But he breaks a lot of tackles.
And that's Dan Andrews?
That's Dan Andrews, yeah, number 21. He's a sophomore, and he was, the freshman conference player of the year last year. So he's big, he's physical, and he's got some speed, and he played very well against Cortland, ran for over 150 yards. And he's definitely the guy to stop. Their quarterback, they run 2 quarterbacks. The Bonzel guy played a lot last week, and he can throw the ball all over the place, and he's very accurate, and then he can also run as well. So kind of if we can, again, it goes back to if we can stop 21 and bottle that run up and force them to throw the football. They do have some very good receivers, but there's no doubt that offense goes through their running back.
Right, and once you mentioned the very good receiver, Nate Wilkinson, who had 10 receptions for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You said they have a great running back plus a go-to guy receiver. How difficult is it to focus on one guy and then maybe leave another guy open?
Well, their whole offense. You could look at Wilkinson last week. He had the most amount of catches, but the week before it was their slot receiver. And then 2 years ago, their leading receiver on their team was their other ex-receiver, number 25. Oh, wow. So really, each week for them, they do a good job of distributing the football. It could be any one of those guys. So
it's difficult to game plan then.
It is. It's good, and they're going to throw them out around to all of them, and it's a matter, we got to figure out who's got the hot hand and who they're targeting early and kind of, adjusting our game plan there. But the passing game always looks a lot better and is harder to defend once they get the running game going.
Exactly. Once they establish the run.
Yeah, then we're in trouble. If we can stop the run and force them one-dimensional, at least we have some different things that we can do to try and, slow them up a little bit.
And I asked this question to Coach Vosberg about the tough task of being on the road.
Yeah.
It's a Courage Bowl. A lot of people are going to be there. First Empire 8 matchup. Yeah. What do you want to tell, your defense or the team beforehand to kind of get the ball rolling and start off on a high note?
Well, for us, I think we love that opportunity. The last couple of times we've been to the playoffs, we've not had a home game. And I think our guys, there's more pressure when you're at home. When you're playing in front of your parents and your crowd, your hometown supporting crowd, it's a little more pressure on you. When you go to someone else's house, and it's a big game for them. It's their homecoming. It's their first Courage Bowl, where we've kind of been in big games like this before. So I think going into that, our guys have some confidence going into big games because they've played in those big games before. And it's a new Empire 8 opponent, and we want to just go there and show them kind of, this is a new league, and they're a good opponent, and they're a great addition to our league. So we're excited to play them. I know they're really excited to play us, but we're used to the pressure, and we're looking forward to going there and going in a hostile environment and just kind of playing like we've done before.
And as we Coach Vosberg and I talked about last week, you guys the experience on your team. You guys are prepared for big games like this. Because going for you, taken away from just the football game, this is raise money and awareness for Camp Good Days.
Yeah.
What does it mean like to be a part of a game like this?
It's really an awesome experience, and it's something our guys look forward to each and every year. And with Gary Mervis on our staff, we've had a lot of interaction with Camp Good Days. Myself, I used to work for Camp Good Days when I first graduated. Nice. And I was making zero money coaching. Love you, Coach Vosberg. But I worked and made some extra money there. So we have a lot of experience, with Camp Good Days. And I think just to see those kids come on Friday and during the luncheon, it just inspires our guys, and it really sets the tone and tells them how lucky they are to play this game. You know,
Right. So
and
Coach
to be
Wagner
able
said,
to, yeah, and to be able to play this game that those guys can't play, and it's just their attitude. Our guys' attitudes have an extra, pep in their step, I guess you'd say, and an extra thankfulness for the game that they play, especially this week going into the game. And I know they want to win it for our coaches. That's one thing that's big on their goal board for this week, is to win it for the honorary coaches that we have.
Well, that's good, and good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
It's going to be a great game. I'm really excited to go.
We're going to need
go
some
and
luck
watch
on our
and-
hands, so thank you very much.
And hopefully you guys can stop the run.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thank Coach Fox for being on the show. I want to thank all the guests today who started on the show, and I hope all the viewers out there have already purchased their ticket to attend this year's Courage Bowl, which is being played at the College of Brockport with a 6 p.m. kickoff. Remember, this is more than just a football game, as it's a great cause to raise money for Camp Good Days and special times. I leave you with this. When you put on that jersey, the name on the front is more important than the name on the back. See you next time on Fisher Football Focus.